no alcohol is obviously the very small base in BevAl, but it is increasing, and that is the opportunity. And why is it so important to innovate today? Because the competition has never been greater. So when you think about that share a throat or share a sip, what is one competing with when you're thinking about beer, wine, and spirits? Yeah, we've always thought of carbonated beverages. We've always thought of coffees and teas. But when you look at some of the more recent disruptors, I know it's been out there for many years now, but look at the waters. Look at the energy drinks and how much they have grown. We've also had premixed cocktails. So when you're thinking about the beer, wine, and spirits, it's not just competing against each other, it's competing against all the products that one could drink, what one would have to consume. And it is stealing some share. So we're seeing this obviously hit the wine category largely. Some of that is being pulled into spirits, as we all know, and John will hit into a little bit more on what people are consuming. But it's also being pulled into other categories outside of the BevAl space.
The churn from the competitor. So this was my favorite, and I'll tell you really a story behind this. So 100 case yellow tail was there, Jacob's Creek and Lindemann Penguin. I mean, these are the days, were that value wine days, where Lindemann, Jacob's Creek, and Yellowtail was the category of US. And I come with my wine, same, $6.99, $7.99. So this retailers, I gave them incentive, $100 Amex card or Visa card. You sell my things, I give you this, right? I don't know legally which state what, but you figure that out. But the key is you got to tell the retailer to hand sell and churn. So every time what happened is they kept a couple of bottles at the counter, which I told them to, and then this is what happened. They kept someone came with shopping cart, Yellowtail is there. Hey, Mary, you've seen this wine? Try this time. Yellowtail's out, my wine's in the cart. At the counter, couple of wines, incentive, and also you don't have to pay. Retailers making more money in your wine, let's say, they would hand sell and churn Yellowtail, right? I'm just throwing an example here as one brand, but keep some of your merchandising. If you can convince a retailer to churn your direct competitor, if it's that direct, if you're absolutely following to take that space, this is a good way to use retailer to sort of churn the customer.
One of the big studies that we did at Nielsen IQ was called the Great Consumer Divide. And please reach out if you'd like to see the entire study. This was a global study. And so one of the watch-outs I want to give you today from a brand funnel or a brand decision-making standpoint is the simple fact from an economy standpoint that the gap between the haves and the have-nots is growing. So what we're seeing is those folks who are struggling or trying to rebound back from struggling, we're seeing that impact between those and those that are thrivers or have been relatively unchanged in the economy, that's getting wider and wider. What does that mean to us in terms of the beverage alcohol industry? Well, you're pretty quick to see that the thrivers, or those that are unchanged, is about 26% of the total population. But that 26% is responsible for 45% of the beverage alcohol consumption. So what that means is there's fewer and fewer people making up more and more of the volume. Brands have to be sharper and more on point than ever before. And as I said, there's all kinds of different pieces to this particular study, but it's a watershed moment to really understand how the economy, especially in the US, but actually globally as well, is really affecting the way the beverage alcohol world works.
Something I hadn't really experienced in the last 25 years, where wine was effectively flat, maybe down slightly last year, and running the same way this year. Part of it is just that you're seeing the hard seltzer pulled a little bit of the young wine consumers over there, especially during the pandemic and post-pandemic, but that'll change again. We'll get that back up. Direct-to-consumer is still a superstar, a rock star in this industry right now, growing at a 13.4% in value, which is really quite remarkable. Beer, we got to all, even if you're here in the wine and spirit side, you got to keep an eye on what's going on in beer because it's impacting us. And it's impacting us primarily not on the pure beer side where imports are doing well, mainly from Mexico, no surprise there, and domestics are doing okay. But what's really the phenomenon is in the hard seltzers and the flavored malts. And that you'll see there's going to be what I call, well, it's a dogfight. You're starting to see people drinking hard seltzers that are now realizing to some extent that they're not spirit-based and they want to trade up.
So that's really an important thing. Just be time conscious. Be prepared when you show up and make sure that you show up on time. You know, we all have busy schedules. My time is just as important as your time. So I really would emphasize on that. When you do show up, be organized, be prepared. Illinois has a very interesting pricing schedule, kind of thing. We don't have to tell you what our prices. You as suppliers and importers do not have to tell publicly what your prices are, right? So that's always something that you have a baseline, but always make it value price ratio. Don't come in and have me taste a wine that I think I could sell to my clients for $15 and your price to me is $30. Okay, I know blood, sweat, and tears go into making wine, and it's really important for a business, but you have to know your market. What will that be? With the opportunity to have 2,500 bottles on the shelf, I have a wide variety, right, from all over the world. So my set changes on a weekly basis. It really does. And I'm always looking for what's the next trend. But at the same time, I have to know my market, right? I have to know what my customers are willing to spend and buy.